One morning, something strange happened. The giant woke up and jumped right out of the bed in surprise. The north wind had stopped blowing. No hail fell on his roof. In fact, he could hear music. He listened and listened. Suddenly, he realized that's not ordinary music. That's a bird singing. The giant climbed to his bedroom window. He looked out. It was spring in his garden. The grass was green, flowers were in bloom, and the birds were singing. The giant could see why spring had come back. Every tree had a happy child sitting on a branch. 32초. That was difficult. Mozart could not find a permanent sponsor. Rich people loved his music, but they did not like him. From his early childhood, Mozart lived with rich people. He was not upper class, but he expected special treatment. As an adult, he rarely received it. Rich people often treated him like a servant. Mozart was very angry. He thought he was better than a servant. His sponsors did not like this attitude. Mozart was born poor, so they believed he was not as good as they were. But Mozart thought he was better than the rich people. 39초.
Who played in the garden? Was Yugang in the garden? Was
No,
Seungwoo in the garden?
No children played in the garden every day.
Right. Who did the garden belong to?
The garden belonged to a giant.
Was the giant a pleasant fellow?
No, the giant was a very unpleasant fellow.
How long was the giant staying with his friend?
He had stayed there with his friend for 7 years.
Okay, next page. What did the giant find when he got home?
When the giant got home, he found all those children playing in the garden.
Was the giant happy?
No, he was furious.
Did the giant like children?
No, he didn't like children at all, especially happy children.
What did the giant say to the children?
He said, Get out, and don't ever come back. This is my garden. Go away, get out, get out.
Where did the children say they would have to play?
They said, We can't play in the garden. We'll have to play here on the road.
Is it good to play near the road?
No, it was dangerous and uncomfortable to play on the road.
Why was it uncomfortable?
It was dusty and rough. The children's feet hurt and the dust made them sneeze.
What is the giant building?
The giant was busy building an ugly high wall.
Why were the children unhappy?
Because they could no longer play in the beautiful garden.
Why did the children stay indoors?
It was too cold to play outdoors.
So the children stayed indoors. What happened in the spring?
Grass grew in the fields. There were flowers on the trees. Birds sang. The air smelled wonderful.
Was the wall still in the garden?
Yes, the high wall was still there.
What does the sign on the garden wall say?
It said, Keep out, private property. Trespassers will be prosecuted.
Why was it still winter in the giant's garden?
Spring did not want to enter such an unpleasant place.
What did the giant say he wanted?
He said, I want spring to come. I want to go outdoors. I want to sit in the sunshine and listen to birds.
Why did the giant jump out of bed in surprise?
The north wind had stopped blowing. No hail fell on his roof, and he could hear music.
What did the giant say?
He said, That's not ordinary music. That's a bird singing.
Was it winter in the garden?
No, it was spring in his garden.
Why has spring come back to the garden?
Every tree had a happy child sitting on a branch.
Why was it still winter in one corner of the garden?
There was a child standing under a tree in that corner. He was too small to climb up the tree, so winter stayed.
Why didn't the children run away from the giant?
He didn't look so grouchy anymore, so they didn't run away.
Okay. What happened when the giant put the boy in the tree?
Immediately, the tree bloomed, and grass grew under it.
What could Mozart do when he was 5 years old?
He wrote a minuet when he was only 5 years old.
What could he do?
He could read, write, and play music.
Right, so he wrote a minuet. What could you do when you were 5 years old?
I don't know.
Okay, when and where was he born?
Mozart was born in Salzburg, Austria.
Did Mozart grow up in a musical family?
Yes, he grew up in a musical family.
What did Mozart's father hope?
He hoped they would find someone to support them.
Why were Mozart and his sister popular?
Mozart and his sister were popular because they were very talented children.
What did they get after performances?
After performances, the audiences gave them money and gifts.
Who did Mozart and his sister play for?
They played concerts for kings and queens.
Next page. Why was the concert tour good?
The concert tour was a good way to become famous and make money.
What was bad for the children's health?
They often had to stay up late at night to play at concerts.
Why was it harder to make money as they get older?
They were still famous, but they were no longer special.
What did their father decide to do?
Their father decided to leave Nonro back in Austria.
Why was he still popular?
He was still popular because of his musical genius.
Did other musicians copy Mozart's music?
Yes, his music was so good that some musicians copied it.
How often did performers playing Mozart's music pay him?
Mozart was paid only once for each word. Often performance did not pay him at all.
저작권 보호를 못 받았어요, 당시에는. Why did Mozart need someone to support him?
Mozart could not make enough money, so he needed to find someone to support him.
Okay, next page. Why couldn't Mozart find permanent sponsor?
Rich people loved his music, but they did not love him.
Why did Mozart expect special treatment?
Because Mozart lived with rich people.
Right. From his early childhood, he lived with rich people, so he expected special treatment. How did rich people treat Mozart?
Rich people often treated him like a servant.
What did his sponsors believe?
They believed he was not as good as they were.
Did Mozart think he was better than rich people?
Yes, Mozart thought he was better than the rich people.
Okay, next page. Did Mozart's rich friends leave him?
Yes, all his rich friends left him.
Right, yes, they did. Why was it difficult to work independently?
Rich people controlled everything in the music world.
What did the rich people pay for?
They paid for the musicians' food and clothing. They paid musicians to write music for them.
How was Mozart different?
He believed in himself. He was sure that he could survive without a rich sponsor.
Okay, next page. How was Mozart able to survive?
Mozart was able to survive because he was a musical genius.
What did Mozart do while he played billiards?
He wrote music while he played billiards with his friends.
How many pieces of music did Mozart compose?
Mozart composed hundreds of pieces of music.
Why did common people like the Marriage of Figaro?
In the Marriage of Figaro, the rich people are silly and the servants are clever.
Okay, next page. What happened when he was 35 years old?
At 35, Mozart became very sick.
What did a mysterious stranger ask him to
mystery-
do?
A mysterious stranger asked him to write a requiem, music for a funeral.
Did he finish the requiem?
No, he was never able to finish it.
What did he set an example of?
He set an example of artistic independence.
Okay, what did Mozart leave us?
He left a gift of wonderful music for us.